for a new city or town to call home, there are many factors that should be considered. For some, it is about being in an area that is economically diverse, and for others, it's about being in an area that is family-friendly with good access to schools and education. One area actually offers both of these, Lake Nona. Lake Nona is a new and upcoming community that attributes most of its success to the medical city and the medical innovations that are being taken place in the area. Good morning, my name is Farun Rashid.
I'm Ray Gobea.
I'm Chin John.
And I'm Ali Deek.
And today we'll be discussing how medical innovation and investment in Lake Nona has affected the growth of the community. Before we can delve any further, we must establish the connection between Lake Nona Medical City and the Lake Nona community. Lake Nona Medical City represents a deliberate strategy to create a centralized focus of sophisticated medical treatment and research in Central Florida. In its now 7 years of existence, Medical City has become home to some of the best hospitals, universities, and research institutions in the country, such as the UCF College of Medicine, Sanford Burnham Research Institute, and the Veterans Affairs and Nemours Children's Hospital. Tavistock Group is the investment firm that was involved in developing Lake Nona. And when they were doing this, they also established the vast master plan community, which is known as Lake Nona. And this community has grown a lot from the medical investment in this area. And the reason this is because of the different things that go on with jobs and with the demographics also being changed in the area, and also the housing prices that are going up.
Thank you. According to the Orange County government website, since 2006, about $2 billion has been invested into the construction of institutions within Medical City. This money invested into the institutions such as the VA Hospital and Nemours Children's Hospital has brought about 30,000 new jobs within Medical City and has generated about $2.8 billion in annual wages. With this increased interest within the Lake Nona community to develop new medical innovation technologies and research facilities, about $7.6 billion in annual economic activity has been generated and clearly demonstrates the impact that medical investment has had in job growth within Lake Nona community.
As you can see, the bottom picture shows Lake Nona in 2006, and the top picture shows Lake Nona in 2015. Over these 9 years, Lake Nona has been developing at very unprecedented rates. Now, since this community is relatively new, housing prices are elevated and they're at their peak. Actually, the average housing price is $420,000, and it ranges from $200,000 to $800,000 respectively. And this ceases to lower due to the fact that communities are including a lot of amenities such as tennis courts, basketball courts, and lounging areas which are exclusive to higher tier communities such as Eagle Creek and Morganburg. We can actually focus on individual housing advancements with the inclusion of fiber optics, which is responsible for better Wi-Fi and the inclusion of tablets into housing. Now, even though with these technical advancements, it sounds great, however, low-income families are dissuaded from staying in Lake Nona due to the high housing prices, and they're prompted to move out. I'd also like to get at something. Primary sector jobs, such as doctors and sector personnel, are actually coming into Lake Nona, and low-income families are moving out. That really changes the demographics of Lake Nona.
Currently, Lake Nona is home to over 58,000 people, 65% of which have a bachelor's degree or higher. Lake Nona's Medical City has brought in several occupations that require this high level of education amongst its employees, such as doctors, surgeons, and other medical professionals. These occupations have led to the fact that the majority of Lake Nona's population has an income of about $60,000 to $150,000, as you can see in this chart. However, this household income is projected to increase by nearly $6,000 in the year 2019 as Medical City continues to progress. Now, although Medical City presents the area with a plethora of job opportunities, people in blue-collar workforces may experience job loss due to the fact that white-collar workers are monopolizing the area in the medical institutes. However, as Medical City has continued to progress, there's been an increase in demand for blue-collar workers within the medical sector in the form of supply manufacturers, deliverers, groundskeepers, etc. So this has leveled out to make it the blue collar workers only 3% less than that of white collar workers in the area. Now taking a step back, in 2006, Lake Nona was 7,000 acres of fertile farmland. However, in the years to follow, it's transformed into a mini metropolis of both commerce and socioeconomic opportunity. This concludes our presentation. Are there any questions?
You can clap. We'll go right to left this time, since we did it the other way last time. So Al. What strategies did you use to gather information as you conducted your research?
What strategies? So mainly we came together at the beginning and we kind of divided and conquered and decided what our strengths were as far as research was, who could get the most interviews, who could find the most valuable resources and the most reliable resources online or through interviews and make the research more credible. And then we all kind of came together and kind of selected through which of our sources would pertain to our argument most clearly.
Thank you. Was there any information that you absolutely had to have, but you could not find it?
Yes, of course. I actually want to see the environmental impact of how Lake Nona is growing. But the thing is, Lake Nona is a new community, so there's very little information about how the bustling metropolis is affecting CO2 emissions or just the pollution that's involved in the Lake Nona community.
All right. Ray, tell me where you grew with knowledge as you went through the entire process.
Well, I think the regions which I grew the most was the regions which I didn't actually invest most of my time in. I feel like I grew exponentially in understanding the demographics of Lake Nona region as into the age ranges of people that are coming in, the education levels, as which Ellie brought up, as well as the housing increases in prices and the type of workers that are actually coming into Lake Nona.
Cool. Last question. Explain the level of certainty you are about the conclusion you came up with from this research. How certain are you about it?
I think we're pretty certain about this conclusion because we have so much evidence proving the different things with the demographics, the different kinds of people coming in, the income of the people that are coming in, that plus the different things with the housing prices. So I'm pretty sure the evidence is very solid and we have most of the stuff there, but I mean some stuff we wanted to look at, of course, was like environmental stuff. And we were actually looking into interviewing the dean of the College of Medicine, but she had to go on a trip somewhere last minute. So other than that, most of our evidence and I'm pretty sure our conclusion is pretty much very solid.
Cool. All right, thank you. All right, everyone just sit down for a second if you would.